What's going on, everyone watching live? Hope we're doing okay. Got to make sure my settings are right. Didn't really mess with that just yet. Everyone's having a good day today. Super excited to be here at the what we call listening experience, a listening party for my first and of course newest album. My name is Scotty. Super excited to be here. If you're a Bombad fam, yes, it is true. I released an album, something that I've been working on for a while, and we're gonna listen to it. I don't know if it'll get flagged. I'm not sure what'll happen. You never know when it comes to these things. If the copyrights really are that uh, good at what they do here on YouTube and StreamYard and all that, then I'd be pretty impressed if something can happen. I need to keep blasting messages out to friends and family that wanted to come and hang out for the actual listening party. So if you haven't listened to it yet, this is a good place to start. I'm actually going to do some behind the scenes stuff leading up to it to kind of explain what all this is, where this came from, how I was inspired to do it. Part of it really is about finally growing the I'm not gonna say the word, but growing the strength to do this. It's something that I'm very excited about. Let me make sure. On Facebook, for some reason, it's been like I've been showing that I'm live, but it's like private. You can't see it. Let me try edit post. I wonder if I can do only me. Yeah, I don't want that. I want other people to see it. I don't know why I can't change that. That's super frustrating. But yeah, no, super duper excited to have everyone here hanging out. It's gonna be a fun stream. Looking at all this stuff. Streamer, yeah. Uh but I'm also going to show a hidden track on here, which is super exciting. So if you really like this, there's one hidden track, and this is actually really funny that producer Steve's in here. It is actually producer Steve. It's the voice of producer Steve and Ken Knapsack. I was mixing and playing with my synths, and I put their audio through my synthesizers. So that's part of it. But yeah, let's take a second. Let's acknowledge how we got here before we actually get started. The first thing I'm going to show you is my current setup. So this is the setup I have right here. What you're looking at is a very simple synthesizer setup. I've got, obviously, you see 4 synthesizers really, or I guess you can say 4 ways of making music. The one all the way to the right over here, to the right, that one with the red squares, everything, that's called the Kaoss Pad, the Korg Kaoss Pad, the KP-3. The KP-3. Really cool device. For those that don't know that much about these devices, this is essentially like a filter system. You put your filters through there, your effects through there, so it pretty much takes everything. And the cool thing is it's a touchscreen. It's early touchscreen, so it's still, it feels like you're touching an old monitor. I don't know. It's got a very good feel to it. Now, this is the crazy part. I ordered it off eBay a while ago in 2020 during the pandemic. So that's when I ordered it originally. And let me actually blast this out to other people real quick while we're talking. I ordered it originally then off eBay. The thing comes in and the screen is smashed. I mean, it's destroyed. It barely works. You couldn't really get exactly what you wanted out of it in terms of sound and filtering and making sure something sounded unique on its own. It just didn't do it well then. But that's the KP-3. You'll see some more images of that right there. That is kind of how I got all the tones I really liked in terms of filters and layering. The thing next to it, to the left, is the Roland TR-08. This is not a true TR-808, which is the famous drum machine from the early and mid 80s, replaced by the TR-909. The TR-808, this is a boutique version of it. It is technically digital. I wouldn't say it's an analog synth. It's digitally sampling the sounds. What kind of apparatus is this? What is the purpose? The TR-808 is my favorite synthesizer in terms of a drum machine. A lot of different ways you can mess around with it. A lot of the build up and effects and I guess you could say drama of the music that I was making came from this machine, because you can control any part of the drum kit virtual drum kit, really. And the hi-hat's the one I mess with the most, and the bass drum. So when you're listening to the album, you'll notice the bass drum will drop out, the hi-hats will drop out, because you can actually, truly, they're the little knobs across the top. I wish I could show you. Maybe can I do this or something? No, I can't. It's a little yellow knobs across the top, and I can zoom in on this. Let's see. So yeah, that part right here, those little knobs across the top, and you can see there's decay, tone decay. It's got everything broken down in terms of what they do: bass drum, snare drum, and you set the beats essentially where they want on whatever part of the song with those little pads right there that you touch. And then last not least, my favorite, you've got the goat of them all, the TD-3. The TD-3 it was designed originally in the 1980s as a bass drum. I'm sorry, like a bass guitar sampler, essentially. So like it has pre-built samples. It's got samples on that you can make and craft. I did a little bit of both. Some of these are pre-made samples. So don't fix it if it isn't broke, right? I mean, it's there for you already. You can use them. That's kind of the point of them. And then in some ways it's a little lazy, but that's okay. It doesn't really bother me. It's a fun way of making the music and kind of letting your mind wander. But you can see you've got a couple of parameters across the top of it. You've got these up here. And this one is all the way to the left, under where it says TD3. It's like the tuning knob. Everything else following it is going to be ways you can change the sound. So that bass drum melody you hear, the bass sound melody you hear is right there. My favorite part of this, though, however, is right here. If you look really closely, it says distortion. It's got a little happy face. There's an homage to like acid house music. Daft Punk was very well known, French house, for using this on songs like anything off Homework, really. Robot Rock, not Robot Rock. Daft and Direct is a really big one. God, I can't think of the other one off Homework, but yeah, it's a very popular synthesizer in that style of music. And then all the way right here to the very bottom, this little tiny guy, this is the mixer I used. It has no bass, mid, highs. It's a simple mixer. My approach to this whole entire making of this music and this album was simplicity. How can I limit this as much as possible? The more you limit yourself, the better things get. I'm a big fan of the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson and everybody in the Beach Boys. But Brian Wilson was a really big proponent of like, how much can we layer? And his music's amazing. Jack White from the White Stripes is all about how much can we make something bare. And I kind of took that approach to it. How can we make something bare and effective? So if you look, all the actual like drum machines and the you can see right here, actually, on the TD-3, the volumes are maxed. They are maxed because what I can do is they're going to hit the hardest there. And then you can see right here under input 2, input 3, all those are inputs for the synthesizers, and they go directly into the Korg KP-3 Pad, which is then immediately recorded into my little audio box, my PreSonus VSL22. So all of this are all synced up together. All of them are isolated in terms of track, so I can take some in, bring some out. Yes. If I could use a vocoder, maybe that's my next purchase. I would definitely have used it. But the whole thing is thank you, Eli, my boy. He loves music. But super duper excited to share this with y'all. I will show you now how I crafted these things, the layering of these things, what these things look like. Then we'll listen to the album together. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you how I came up with some aspects of it. And then we'll actually listen to a behind the scenes secret track that I did not release. So it's very exciting stuff. Cameron, thank you. Thank you everyone for being here. Laserbolt, Eric Elliott, love seeing you here. Working on a review. I'm honored. Brian, yes, I do love craft work. That's 80s. You're speaking my language. That's right. That's my aunt right there. I have the Moog albums. I love the Moog albums. This machine kills human instrumentality. I'm not gonna lie. If we found a sticker that said that, it's going across the TD-3. That's dope, Jerry. I love that. No, but thank you for being here. 6th birthday video today. Yes. that was a good stream. I'm the new favorite producer, or is it Steve? Producer Steve. But anyway, you can see that everything here is supposed to be here for a reason. I'm going to take you down memory lane for me personally, because I think it's important. How did we get here? How did 5 years of work and play get here? So I'm going to go back to my earliest videos of this. This is from 2021. This is my old setup. This is actually funny enough. If you want to look in my office, and if you go back to old Bombad, let me see if I can pull it up big. If you go back to old Bombad and you look over here, that's where that setup is. So it was up there for like 3 years. Then I moved it in my garage, and I recently renovated my garage towards the middle of or end of May, and that's kind of what gave me the inspiration. Like, okay, let's finally put this album together. Let's finally work on something. And I would spend a lot of time just fiddling with these instruments. So even then, for years, I worked up to going, okay, like how can we put everything together? So I had to learn about how a synthesizer functions, had to learn about what controls what, and for lack of a better term, I'm going to use it. You've got what they call slaves, and you've got what they call a master system. The master synthesizer is what controls the slaves. So not the best term, but it's how it's they use there. And my master system in this now, or my master setup, the master controller is the Korg Kaoss Pad. So if you hear tempo changes, it's strictly because of this guy. I turn that dial up there to the top right of the system. That will control both of these slave synthesizers. So, and I'll show you some audio examples as well back in the day. Some from literally my birthday, which is funny, tomorrow, 4 years ago. So it's pretty crazy. So this is the original setup. Very simple. It all went through my amp that was under here. Very raw, very basic. I got a little bit more refined with it. So here's actually an early loop that my wife and I made. Or maybe I... So you can see Ryan Johnson on there. But this right here was just drums. I don't know how I made that one. I don't know if I changed the tempo fast. I don't think I did. I want to make this one again. This one's sick. Yeah, I like that one. But that being said, you can see that a lot of it was experimentation, learning what works, you know. And here's one that my wife made, and they're fun. They really are just designed to mess around with. I really, really love being able to put these things together in a way. And as you can see right here, I was showing her how some of this stuff functions, and it's very simple. It's not super complex. You just gotta know what you want from it. So it's pretty fun. That's an early one right there. You would actually hear this on Touch Light. Now, it was before I had a mixer. It was all a trigger pad in terms of like there's a trigger system inside of it where when you hit it, it'll start on both ends. And they're linked up. They're synced together really. And so you can see right here when I hit the drums on the drum machine, they work together. Listen. And that's the distortion that you hear in the album. I'm doing all this with one hand. I think I hit it in the middle. That's awesome. So, you know, it's funny. Everyone's like, oh, so this is that something you can perform with, you know? And weirdly enough, you can. What you put into it in that moment is what you get out of it in the moment. That's the one thing about this album that I don't think people realize. None of this is layered. None of this is in the sense like done in post-production. This is all done entirely live in that moment. It is it hard? It can be. It's easy to mess up. So like when you do something like this, you don't want to mess it up. You want to kind of keep it going in a way that makes sense, because a lot of this is easy to mess up. And if you really listen to the album, you'll hear a couple of mistakes. And thank you everyone in the chat hanging out. And I kind of mask it up a little bit. You can kind of play off mistakes on these things. So I'll show you some more of those kind of samples. Here's another good one. This is in the so like that. You can modulate things in the moment like that. But it's all about building up. I would mess this up again. That's after I changed the screen on the Kaoss Pad. I don't know if I have a picture of it broken, but it broken was an absolute the worst day of my life. It came in just shattered. So over the oh god, what month would this have been? Let's see. There you go. Yeah, this would have been December. So I reconfigured the entire setup in December, so you can see how I started putting these together. The KO3, that was something that I wanted to bring up too. I don't use it on the album. I do like the Teenage Engineering KO3. I think it's great. KO2, I'm sorry, but it's not my favorite. It's actually kind of a complex system to use. It's a learning curve, and I don't know if I want to learn it yet. I think there might be an easier way of doing this. But yeah, there it is, the full thing set up right there. It's beautiful. And here is actually, this is from, let's see what day. This is from June 13th. 12 days ago. I was still mixing and working on this. There you go. Good sound. I like that sound. It sounds really good in a room. Now this is my favorite. This is my garage. Yeah, I like this one. We're gonna listen to that in a second. Here's another cool shot I got of it when I was working on stuff. But yeah, it was simple. It was really simple. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So this first, the names, and we'll go through each one. My garage is a simple name for me because a few stories here and there. I can just share them real quickly. In my garage currently is where everything's set up, everything musical. So that was always a spot for me musically. And in particular, my garage now is what the setup I really enjoy. I had a shed at my mom's old house when I was in college. That's where my music used to be set up. And then when my dad left my mom, my dad worked on vintage hot rods, and that's what he had. He had a shop. He had what like a shop that was behind the house, and he would work on his vehicles there. And when he left my mom, he left the shop behind. So I took it over. Of course, I was a teenager. I was 13 and cleaned it up. We added an AC unit, and that became a spot where we would always jam, all of my friends and me. And it was actually a very sacred, special spot. I think I have dreams about that shop, that garage, really very often. Some of the first music I ever recorded when I was like 14, 15, and 16 were in that garage. And I have all those recordings. I would love the opportunity one day to put those down somewhere. I don't know how good they would be. It would probably be an experimental type thing. Whereas this, what you're going to hear was way more straightforward. There was a goal in each one: build up, break down, isolate. You know what I mean? Like there was, yes, an error store. Yeah, there was one song we made a long time ago and it wasn't good, but it was me just playing creepy chords on guitar. I was like 13, and it was me, my best friend Chase, and we're playing these creepy weird songs. It's called Revelations, and we're singing about it. Two little Catholic school kids. But without further ado, let's listen to My Garage. So this is kind of trying to encapsulate all those feelings and emotions in a very groovy way. And I think my favorite part, audibly speaking, and I'm not going to talk while the song is playing, and it might be copyright struck. I don't know. There is a build up, bring down, and then when you get towards like the middle of each build up and bring down, the sound like does this like almost ocean kind of filter. It is all because of the Kaoss Pad. So everything's going through the Kaoss Pad, and it's all being modulated in real time by me with my finger. And maybe one day I can do a live of me performing this stuff live, and just having fun with it live, because it's a whole lot of fun. So let me get this one going. My Garage, the opening track, which I would say is probably the most, you could show this song probably to anyone and they would move their head to it a little bit. This is the other songs, as they go further, do get a little bit harsher tone wise. So let's enjoy. Let me know if it sounds weird, by the way. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Laser Bolt. So I was just saying, in terms of sound, the part that I really like is the kind of grinding noise it makes, like the filtering, the kind of growl it has. You can almost feel it in the back of your throat if you have good headphones on, right? That's something that really appeals to me in any song. If a song feels textured, the song has kind of almost like a sawing kind of feel to it. Nothing doesn't feel bad. But like if you were to put like a speaker up to your chest and feel like it would, like, I don't know, it kind of like vibrates you to life. For me personally too, I like anything that feels like it's going somewhere. Especially the going up, like the phasing filter on there, then it reverse it, like it goes back into it. It's good stuff. I bring in some distortion into it. I kind of take it back down. All done. So that was a good question for these. No, these are completely done live, entirely live, all in my hands. The samples, some of them I've made before, some of these are ones that I found on the actual device itself, the TD-3, but all these are done completely live, and they just are literally outputted through a mixer that goes into the Kaoss Pad that then I put into my I guess my PreSonus VSL to 22 VSL to then capture the audio of my performance. And then of course whenever I go and actually like produce on GarageBand, I literally just do oh, look at this, Mr. Plow, thank you. Japan, good morning from Japan, Mr. Plow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes. Love it. Feel like I'm back at my door. Yes. Good. I'm glad you're there, Laserbolt. I'll keep you there, baby. But but yeah, it's all super fun, super organic. I'll just play an example of that noise that I like so much. It was around right here. So now, one thing I will say is in my garage, I've got two Bose L1 compacts going in through a Soundtown 12-inch subwoofer. So it's got a huge like ringing and shake to it in your gut. Like this in particular, when you kind of max out the bass, it's rattling. And it builds back up. All right, drums come back in. This is the sound I like. Oh, wow. So that's the first track. I hope you enjoyed that one. The next one's called Dance Alone. This one, I was literally, is it the right order? Make sure it's the right order. I don't know if that's the right order. Dance Alone was literally crafted. That was the first one I put together. This was like very end of May. Not the first one, but I guess in the sense of like, this is the first one where I'm like, oh, I could actually do this now. I've got the time now for it. I've got the attention span for it. Let's make this album. You've been saying it forever. I wanted to make an album before I turned 30, and I turned 30 in exactly like, 4 hours. So I'll be 30 very soon. And I wanted this album to come out before I turned that age. The next one is Dance Alone. This is the one that gave me the confidence to go, okay, now you can do this. Let's put this together. Let's finally suck it up and make it happen. And yeah, this is it. This is very like middle May. It's called Dance Alone. This one is one of the longer tracks. I love how this one plays though. This one's a very fun one to dance to. And I literally was just dancing in my garage by myself to this one, and I was really feeling it. You know, I was like, man, this is it. This is the moment. So So all of that's done. All that's done live in the sense of like structuring and layering, and all of it's in the moment. Jerry's in the back of the studio right now. I might bring him in a minute. I just want to hear his thoughts. He has a favorite one coming up, so we'll actually get his opinion after his favorite one comes up. But yes, that's the idea. And I agree. Thank you. I really appreciate this, Laser Bolt. That's kind of the point. I've actually listened to this driving today, trying to come up, with things I want to talk about when it comes to this live stream. And it is very hypnotic. The whole thing is hypnotic. It's meant to be hypnotic. It's helped to make you feel like you're in the groove. And I don't mean dancing in the groove. I mean quite literally like kind of it for me. I have some ADD stuff that I deal with, and my best way of doing is music sometimes, and like handling and listening to music, listen to podcasts when I mow the lawn, and I don't know. I always have to have something kind of audibly being taken in whenever I'm doing an activity like that. And of course, video games is one of them. And you can. So for those that don't know, this is on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, Tidal. It's pretty much ever. It's on Instagram. If you actually go to Instagram and you look up the song, you can actually use it in one of your videos. But that's good. I like that. I'm glad you all like this. And Troy, shout out to my cousin Troy. I got a wonderful review from him. That was very meant a lot to me. I got a couple of pretty impactful reviews from my other cousin Chandler as well. He listens to all this kind of music. And do I listen to this kind of stuff? Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do for the most part. A lot of it is kind of down to creativity. I don't want to muddle my creative energy. But Dance Alone is a cool one. I like it. It is very sci-fi. And honestly, you could hear some of the stuff in Andor, if I'm gonna be honest with you, it has that kind of feel. And same Racing Turtles, same Arc RS-40 is my favorite, and that title is pretty cool. That title is a fun one. We'll look at that. But speaking of like keeping your mind clear, let me actually show y'all what my garage looked like before I started recording this, just to show y'all, and y'all can have a better idea of kind of what made me finally want to do this album. That was the garage before. Not to get into too much details, but it was a catch-all for a while. When I got back from Japan, like you can see the suitcase was just thrown right there. Like everything and DJing, I literally had, there was one weekend right before I went to Japan where legitimately there was 3 days of that weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I had gigs. And all I would do is come in, unload my equipment like that, and put my table down, and that was it. And it would go in my car that's charging right there, and then I would unload it, load it, unload, load it. You can see I got my record collections over here. I've got, shop vacs. I mean, it looks like a typical garage. It acts like a typical garage. I got sound panelings that really don't do that much work, but it was a mess for a minute. And so I took literally a whole weekend, and it was like the week before I recorded this album. I think Katie was on vacation with her grandmother, and yes, Jerry. Yes. Beautiful, as you should. But here I am, like, wanting to make this a reality, and I had no true sound system really set up in there except for one speaker. So let me show you the actual finished product. So this is the space now. It's much more conducive for recording. It is obviously from the other perspective, but you see those two towers right there? Those are Bose L1 compacts. Most of my DJ money went to being able to afford these. I always felt like, okay, in terms of sound, it's really important to be kind of minimal. You don't want to take up too much space. If I had two loudspeakers there, it would be kind of obnoxious. You can't really set kind of how you want with those either. They're just loud. These, however, are meant for smaller rooms. They're designed to be played in like clubs and coffee shops and some bars. Probably I've used them for bar gigs, but they're very simple. This is what I like about them. At the very top of these towers, I'll zoom in right here. There's the one tower. There's the other tower. That's just the drivers. That's just the speakers. And this whole long part's all plastic until it goes to the bass right here. And these basses, the bottom that hold it up right there. There's Katie's hockey gloves. Those bass are kind of like the mid-range sound. So it does not get that many low tones. So I bought this right here, this subwoofer, a Soundtown 12-inch subwoofer, and it does the job. So it does exactly what I want. You can see I have my synthesizer set up right there. That's my record player. Those are some of my guitars. I got my nicer guitars over here hanging out. I've got my drum set. I've got my rowing machine, and my record collection. And that's not all of them. That's just the ones that are outside. There's some good ones in there. That really thick one is the Chicago one. Record cleaner. I got my Roundup. I mean, it's still a garage. The other side you don't see is like the lawnmower. You see the vacuum handle right there. All that stuff's there. So when I cleaned out this area, I thought to myself, well, I want to make this conductive for recording and using. But yeah, I would come in here and it would be cluttered. My thoughts would be cluttered. I never felt like I could do this. But yeah, I did. Oh, and by the way, shout out to, this is one of the weirder things that I have in my collection. That is my childhood lizard right there. My lizard Bowser. He died in 2021 or 22. I forget. He died, and I had a friend of mine that I went to college with named Austin, the Austin Skull Collector. He literally, his hobby is taking old animals, dead animals, whatever they are, and he cleans them and takes care of them, and he articulates them. And so that being said, yeah, I'm not kidding. That's what he does. And I paid him like it was like $300 to do this for me. So he took my childhood lizard, a bearded dragon that I had since I was in 6th grade, and he lived much longer than he was supposed to. He lived for 14 years, from all the way from middle school to right before I got married. So you got to think that's a long ass time for a lizard. But yeah, there he is right there. There's Bowser. But yeah, that you can see a Jar Jar statue right there in the second shelf, and that my Uncle Jim gave me. I got some guitar chord theory stuff right there that I mess around with. And yes, for those that are thinking to themselves, is he just going to do electronic music? It's easier. It's more fun. It's more entertaining. But you can see it right there. I got my amp right there. I just got a microphone set up, placed up against it. I am trying to record some more, not acoustic music, but I'm trying to record music that is not made completely digitally or, through analog synths. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. Actually, the next one was inspired, weirdly enough, by a scanner that I've been using at work. I know that sounds really silly. You're learning all about me tonight. For those that don't know about me, are going to know about me like a lot more tonight after I'm done talking about this. The My summer job at the school I work at years ago, I pitched the idea of digitally archiving all their old documents that were important and necessary, the student records essentially. And I pitched this in 2020, right during the pandemic time, and it was me by myself, isolated, working on these things just for me alone. And it was really nice. It was an easy way to make money for my engagement ring to Katie. I made a lot of money that summer doing that, and it was kind of a nice way to get back in the zone of being at school, but not really teaching, because we had to get off that March. And then I did that pretty much all of May, June, and July. And then I continued to do that. And most recently, they asked me to archive photos because they have a big fundraising campaign right now at my school. And with that fundraising campaign, they want to use old photography. And so I asked if they buy a scanner. I had to write a grant for it. Or I got pledged, then using grant money for it. And it is called the is it the Canon RS40? Make sure I got that right. Canon RS40. That's right. Canon RS40. So it's a beast of a picture scanner. Oh my God. I have a scanner that I use to put single photos through. It takes forever. But it crops it. It's good. And it's at a lower resolution. It's not a very large file size. This, however, the RS40, the Canon RS40 is freaking fantastic. If anyone wants to scan their old photos, it was about $400, but you can put 40 photos in there at once, scan it. You can give it dates, you can give it names, you can give it any types. I love it. Sorry, Jerry. don't mean to having your war flashbacks, trying to return things from Amazon. Yeah, I don't want to be a Kararu just head exploding flashbacks. Anyway, you'll see. You don't know what that is yet. Anyway, or you might know. You watch it? Okay, we'll get to that. I'm going to talk to Jerry about 2 songs now. But we'll get to them in a minute. I love my boys laughing in the background. I love them. But yeah, without further ado, Arc RS40. This is my favorite. I know. Ray said, yeah, that sounds produced on God. Thank you. This I agree. Yeah, Arc RS40 is my favorite. So it's pretty much short for Archive RS40. So it kind of encapsulates. I don't know what it's supposed to encapsulate. It's a good name, very Star Wars name. But it's got my favorite beat and energy, probably of. Well, no, it's that back. Wolf Parkinson White Syndrome is another good one, and I'll tell you all about that later. But let's do Arc RS40. Hold on, make sure we start it over. I like this beat. That that ending is my favorite. I love when something tonally shifts so like it goes so much into the filter that the filter can't comprehend the sound that should be coming through it. And like it's natural. You can kind of hear it happen. But like I just want to reflect on that. That I love that ending. That ending, so that the very ending of Daft Punk's final album with the song Contact. But like you can hear it slowly go down, and I'm gonna bring it back up right here. I love how wiggly. I love that noise. Right here. Oh, I love that. I love it. Oh, Jerry's sitting so patiently and so sweetly in the back. I'm going to bring him in a moment. This next one's called Dancing Compressed. For those that don't know, when you take any sort of sound and compress it, you put it through a compressor, which is what it's called. It ends up like punching it up more. It has a much more, it packs more of a punch. Things hit harder. Some great examples of this if you listen to Daft Punk's Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, which is a sample of Coca-Cola Baby, I believe. But what they did was they took that original sound, they put it through a ton of compression, compressed the shit out of it, and then it made its own like really poignant, sharp, thumping kind of sound. Another great example of this is the White Stripes. What they would do when they used to record their first album in particular, they would take all their sound signals, put it through a Boss, I think it's Boss compressor pedal. So it compressed the sounds and it would be much punchier. So if you listen to like what's dun 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 dun. You got a reaction. Dun. What song was that? Action didn't you? Took a White Orchid, Blue Orchid. Okay, Blue Orchid's a great example. Listen to that. It is compressed just to the nth degree. So what I did with this track is I took the single sound wave, which was the synthesizers and of course the Korg Kaoss Pad, everything channeling through it, and I just compressed the shit out of it. I went on every aspect of the filters on GarageBand and compressed. I put the lows at its highest, I put the mids at its highest, I put the highs at its highest. I just compressed it, and then I went into the actual mastering effect on GarageBand and just compressed it. So it's dancing compressed. And then I'm going to bring Jerry in after this to talk about his favorite song, and I'll tell him a story about that song. So here's Dancing Compressed. Hope you all enjoy it. This one's a long one too, I think. 5 minutes? No, it's 4 minutes. Easy as that. Easy as that. I love that one. I will thank you so much. Look at this. I want to show you real quick to the part that directly inspired by Daft Punk. I was like, yeah, this is super Daft Punk sounding, especially from Defunk, which is their one of their biggest ones from their first album, Homework. So there's a part right here where I just have the drums, and it's almost the same exact drum beat from Homework, kind of. I mean, it's kind of a similar. A lot of songs have these similar drum beats, and you notice the BPM shift. Not every song, but most songs they're a little bit faster. This is one of the faster ones, but like it's this part where it's just drums before the bass comes back in. Right here. Just those two bars. That was strictly a Daft Punk trivia right there. I'm gonna bring Jerry in. Okay, so I'm gonna bring Jerry in after this one, but I'll tell you the story of this next one. So if anyone cared to look up, anyone still listening, shout out to everyone still hanging out. I appreciate y'all here. This Wolff Parkinson White syndrome, I misspelt it on purpose. Didn't know. Well, I'll tell you why. It's actually WOLFF, Wolff Parkinson White syndrome. It is a heart condition. And it's a heart condition that I had growing up. It developed when I was in sixth, seventh grade, and I had to get surgery for it as a 17-year-old in high school. So it's something that plagued me my whole life. If I got way too active, if too many things were happening, I was too excited, whatever it was, it'd be at recess. It could be doing anything really. Playing guitar, or like, I don't know. Let's say I'm playing a video game. I'm holding my breath. It's an intense thing, whatever. It would trigger my Wolff Parkinson's White syndrome. And what would happen is my heart would be out of rhythm. So if you got a normal heartbeat, it'd be like, that's a terrible noise. I gotta find a better thing. Here we go. Okay, if you got a normal heartbeat, it would sound like this, right? And it's kind of fast, but what mine would do when I got too active, it would beat faster, right? But then it would do this. And I knew I was having like an episodic fit. And then it would try to regulate, and it would just go really slow. Really slow. So I would feel these insane feelings of like, like I would feel like I'm about to pass out, and then I would feel really chilled out because my heart's beating super slow, and then it would go really fast again, and it would beat really really fast, and I would feel like all the energy flowing back through me, and it was always ups and downs, and it would get out of rhythm, and it would feel really weird, and obviously had these happen at school functions in high school. I was in our homecoming play my junior year, right before I had the surgery. The surgery was scheduled and everything. And literally I was in the middle of performing and it just went out of whack. Absolutely out of whack. It was the energy, it was me dancing, it was the crowd yelling, and like I had to go, they had to literally like knock stuff off the table in the boys' locker room, and they had to pour ice water all over me, and it finally regulated, and I had my surgery like 6 weeks later, but it was already scheduled. The true episode that was very scary for me was I was a sophomore, I was 16 years old, and it was the end of my sophomore year, May, really. And I was in the middle of the class, and I don't know what caused it. I was just sitting there at Mr. Brad Doyle's class, and it just it clicked in, y'all. And I was like, oh my God, this is weird. It never just happens out of nowhere. So this is before the surgery was scheduled. And I get up and I'm like, I'm having a heart thing right now. Can I walk to the office? And he was very cool, but he's like, yeah, go. Cause I think everyone had been made known that I had like a heart monitor that I would wear, after I go to my cardiologist and all that stuff. And I'm walking the hallway, and I don't know what happened. It dropped, and I almost fell. I hit my body against the locker, and I remember holding onto the locker. I'm like, okay, walk back to class. So I got my friend John Malden. I'll never forget. And I'm like, can you walk me there? Because even my teacher who called the office, like, oh my God, he's white as a ghost. Y'all better do something about this. And our health teacher, our sports med, I guess, coach was there. Anthony Neeson changed my life. He was a paramedic at one point, and great guy. He was made known that it was happening, he got someone to cover his class, and he ran to the office. They laid me on the bench in front of the office, and we had glass windows in our office, so like you could see what was going on inside the office every day. And so here I am, whoever's parents there, whatever. I'm laying across this bench, and it was right at dismissal. So like the bell would have dismissed maybe in about 15 minutes, and I'm there, and I'm pale as a ghost. I have the cold sweats. They're throwing everything on me. And literally, Coach Neeson, they called my mom. They called my grandma, because if my mom got a call that I was having another fit, she would have went into a panic attack. They called my grandma, who then called my mom. And of course, they both show up. And they also called the EMS. So at this point, like, it is true. The moment is real. It is scary. It is intense. And my heart rate is around, so I believe it's 205 when you go into cardiac arrest and die. 205. What rate is your heart rate during cardiac arrest? Okay, that's not accurate. There's no way you can Google AI is such bullshit. 400 beats per minute, you would fucking pop. You would literally explode. You would turn into LCL fluid and just evaporate. Okay, I can't find the data. If I'm not mistaken, it's 205 is what you have, and then you can die. It just becomes too overstimulated and you die. So I was at 195. So here I am, 16 years old, essentially, and what they told me was I was having a heart attack. I was having a heart attack. I was pushing it, man. It was crazy. That nerve in my heart wouldn't zap it back to normal. And so here they are. The EMS show up, and the EMS one of them grabs my mom's hand and says, "We're going to do everything we can." And I was like, I heard that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die here in my school office. I haven't had sex yet. I'm so bummed out. So that's all that's going through my mind, right? I knew that would make Jerry laugh, but it's true. I'm like, this sucks, man. I'm going to die in the school office. I'll be the kid that died, the redheaded little asshole that died in the school office. Didn't die. But what shocked me back to normal was that they put me in the EMS, and they were about to give me an IV. And I don't like needles. I don't think most people do. If you like needles, you probably have a heroin problem. But I don't like them. I never forget, they're putting in there, and I'm already in the EMS. My shirt's been like ripped off, and they go whoop, and they put in there, and then instantly right back to normal. They had the shockers out right next to me. Your boy was about to get his shit rocked. 16 years old. So, all that being said, they diagnosed me with Wolff-Parkinson's-White syndrome. I went to a cardiologist, a while through all that was happening. Dr. Brummond, shout out to Dr. Brummond. Some names you just can't forget, right? And here I am now. What I did with this track was to simulate what that feeling was like. It's not supposed to be scary, but you'll hear moments where like the highs get really, really high, and then like the lows are kind of weird, mumbly, but like you hear like that's me hitting the Kaoss Pad, and then by the end of it, it is literally as fast as I could turn the tempo up to. I think it was 300 beats per minute. So that was simulating that. And then that's it. I think I unplugged it after. I think that's what I did, because I was so in the moment of making this one. I just ripped the cord out from the power supply. So you should be able to hear that. That's the story behind Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. I hope you enjoyed that. Here we go. Me straight up unplugging it. Boom. Boom. Let's bring Jerry in. Jerry was saying how this was his favorite earlier in one of our group chats. If Jerry wants to talk, he's more than welcome to. He might just sit there and stare. But yeah, we're we're not even quite halfway through this album, but that one is one of the ones that I like the energy from the most. So let's bring in Jerry real quick. Jerry,
what's up, buddy? No, well, no. Listen. I am. Let me just get sappy for a second. I am. You are amazing. I just want you to know you're amazing.
I love you.
I fucking love you. I'm so glad that you didn't die when you were 16 and you had sex and all of that. It was great. I don't know if you saw that's like Shinji Ikari in every episode of Evangelion is like, oh, everyone. I'm gonna die. I haven't had sex yet. That's all. But man, I'm just you don't need me to say this. I'm proud of you.
No,
very proud of you. I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm proud. Like, this is just like you said, you're gonna write an album this summer. You fucking wrote an album, man.
I did.
And I mean, shout out to Trey Mitchell, who took the photo, the cover art there.
I was gonna say that. Yes.
That is like, well, we were looking at this photo. I did not know this was going to be like the dopest album cover of the year, but I remember seeing it going like, that is Blade Runner as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love you. I'm so
sweet
for you. This is really, really fucking cool.
Thank you, G. That's my boy.
You don't have to give me any credit. I had zero to do with this.
No, you say that. But but you've allowed me to understand what creativity means. I had a lot of friends that I still love and I'm still close with that were very creative people, and I was honestly intimidated by them. But working with you allowed me to feel more creative in the goofy things I do and the artsy things that I do. And if it wasn't for you and all of our friends that we have in group chats and everything, I don't think I would have the confidence to be like, okay, this is something I can actually push forward and do. This is, and I thank you, Gallinori and Saber. It's so glad to see you in the chat.
What's
But
up, Seth?
it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful album cover. Thank you, Trey Mitchell. Took this photo when we were in Osaka, Tokyo at the World Expo in Osaka at the Spanish Pavilion.
That is the most like musical artist thing like ever. Just that
it's
you
cool.
were just in Osaka, Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, man, we were but
we were out on a late sake run. And
yes, we were. No, I wanted to ask you.
Soju, right?
Yes, soju. It can be sake too. I wanted to ask you just because I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think, as a friend of mine and a person that knows me really well, the album means? Touch Light.
The album Touch Light. It's man. You see, you come with the deep. I thought you were going to ask me about Wolf Parkinson White.
You can do that too. You can talk about Wolf Parkinson's first.
I just want to say, so I had texted Scotty earlier because I am a plebe heathen and I only use Apple Music.
Same.
Like a dope. And I was like listening to it on YouTube, but then I would have to like switch to group chat and stuff. And I was like, oh man, this is not the peak listening that I want to do. So today I got to like actually lock in and listen to this thing. And again, like I said, completely just annihilate 8-year-olds who are on vacation on their phones at their grandma's. Absolutely wipe the floor with them this was the soundtrack.
They're sitting there at Lulu's and Gulf Shores, and they're like trying to play Fortnite on their iPads.
Damn it! I'm sorry, mom. Sorry, mom.
And then you're just mowing them down listening to this album.
Yeah, it was crazy. But this song, I don't know, the vibes of this one were really cool. And I knew you had already mentioned, because you had told me that you had a condition before. I'm not sure if you told me this complete story.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I know listen. It might have been when I was down there we might have been less than sober while talking about it, maybe. But to hear the full story and everything, it put so much behind it. And honestly, what drew me to it at the beginning was just the vibes.
Okay,
which is a very generic thing to say, but like it feels like this is the part in the spy thriller where they are they're this close to the truth, and they are tailing the last big fish they need to tail before they find that truth.
That's beautiful.
That's what this feels like. And it's a wonderful, you can feel the tension in it, but you can also feel like the excitement and the I don't know, man, the life in it and stuff like that. It's a celebration of life. I think that's what Touch Light is for you. It's a celebration of where you're at right now. You're about to turn 30, which is one of the tracks, not to give it away. Stuff we were just talking about last night, how it's like, me and you were going to be in the same decade for a couple of years. It's crazy. It's never happened in our friendship.
No.
And you were at a turning point in your life. I think it's safe to just in a way. I don't know if that's like you're right. Like you're about to turn 30, like life just kind of we all have like, I don't know, man. There's like 10 different life phases throughout each life or more. I don't know. It's like you go through different phases of life, and I feel like you're about to enter into a new one, but I think that it's going to be a very creative and a very fruitful phase for you.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
It's crazy, it's scary, it's fun, it's groovy as hell. And I think that's, to me, that's what Touch Light, that's what this album is.
Thank you.
It is that vibe directly from your heart that still refuses to stop beating, which is fucking awesome. And I love you, and I'm glad you didn't.
I love you. I'm so glad you said all. This is very sweet, Jerry.
Well, I haven't got to really I don't gush very well through text. I like to look a person in their eyes, kind of. I have to like look up and down here, but I like to look a person in their face and tell them how I feel about them and stuff, and tell them what I think about what you're doing. And I think that you're doing some very odd. Like, listen, man, you wrote a book this year. You wrote an album. I mean, come on. This is fantastic. Yes, we've got both, and I say I've still got my copy right here in my little end table and stuff like that. And I mean, it's right there. I'm gonna make Eleanor read it as soon as she gets to that 8th grade reading level that she can understand it. I'm gonna get her into it.
Annotate, Eleanor. Annotate.
Come on, Ellie. Annotate. Let's go, babe. Let's go. But no, listen, man. This is fantastic. I'm happy to be celebrating this release of this with you, man. And
thank you.
I don't know. Here's to many more, man. Here you go. Here you go.
So look at this.
Here's to many more albums and stuff, you know?
I hope so. Thank you, G. I love you, baby. One thing I will say too, speaking to like the creative process, right? Like obviously Bombad Cast, like I can just like throw up an example right here. Like it's meant to be fun, you know, like we have a good time with this, but like what I wanted to do with this album is like, you know, I have a lot of people in my life for a long time that didn't take me seriously in the sense. So like the book justified that. This album feels like it's justifying a little bit of that. In the sense of like, it's something that I can do. It's not impossible. None of this is truly impossible. Yeah. It's approachable. And the title Touchlight is about the impossible. That's why I came up with it. Because like, you can touch a light bulb. That doesn't necessarily mean you are touching light. Light is not a physical object in which you can touch unless you were to go and touch the sun. But even then it's just radiating light. Like you can't touch light no matter like, and I had kept ideas of like it's funny. Like you can see a lamp that's like a touch light and you just touch it and light comes on. So like part of it's kind of a playful thing. Like it's silly, like, oh, it's a touch light. But also the idea of it is like, no, like you imagine touching light. Like what that experience would be like to be able to physically touch light. So so there was that idea there, and I had a really fun time editing that photo together. Literally I took the same photo, put it through a frame that says that, you know, like it says Touchlight, but then I just kind of off centered it. It was a fun one to make. So it's kind of cool because it makes your eyes dance. It's kind of like a what's the thing where they used to put it to your face on the newspaper? Stereo something graph, I forget. You know, the one where you would have to like
or something.
And you see the little horses. You know,
fun fact, I've never been able to see one of those things.
It sucks. It's terrible. It literally disorients your eyes. It's the worst. I remember doing it a lot in like elementary school. Probably damage your eyes. Yeah.
Well, it probably just is that my eyes have sucked.
Yes. A stereoscope. No, another thing too. I agree. Like you can't touch light, but light can touch you.
Which is
very cool idea.
Crazy.
Very cool idea. And that's like, and having a shadow is because of light touching. Like I agree with all this, you know, and like the first thing we experience when we come out of the womb is light. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so, you know, we breathe air, we touch light, we experience light for the first time. So like there's a period of you developing where you didn't experience light, and like other organisms like have, you know, eggs, or they have things they live in that are exposed to light. So that's just it's just so, I don't know. That's how I think in that sense.
Right. But, well, I mean, you know, light is life when you think about it. And not to get too High Republic, but you know, like light is like there is no such thing as, we couldn't have life on this planet if it wasn't for light.
Yes.
You know, like that's one of the cool things about where we are in the universe, is that we just here we are.
Yes.
You know,
and literally
because of the light that is where it is, we can live here, we can survive here, you know, for however much longer.
Isn't that beautiful?
Crazy. It's wonderful. I love it.
I love this. Is that why your eyes were so wide open when you were born 30 years ago? Well, 30 years ago and a few hours. Yes, that could have been the case. This next one is called Duke, Duke. It is named after my favorite coworker, Duke, Edith Duke Soulier, one of my favorite people ever. In the most recent couple of months, she's been a really good person to rely on just to hear her voice and talk to her about things. She's also someone that I collaborate on with the greenhouse project that we have at our school right now. So Duke is someone that inspires me. And the only reason why I have her titled here is not just because she inspires me, but I kept singing her name when I was doing the melody to it. And then, Jared, I can drop you. I can leave you on screen however you want it, whatever you want.
This is your night, baby. So you want me on? You want me? I don't mind waiting backstage. This is
okay.
I want you to go off. Okay.
I gotta have you back on to talk about Berserk Ava. So
I'll be here. I'll be here. Don't worry, idiot Shinji. I'll be here.
I'll get back to you in a minute. But Duke is one of those ones that that I really am very fond of musically. So I like this one a lot. This one kind of does go off the rails. If you know Duke very well, she is one of the people that is very energetic, very kind of can be a lot in a good way. I love her to death. So let's enjoy Duke by me, Sky Jarrett, on the album Touchlight. I love that one's ending. Yes, yes, Yazoo. I like that. It's very 80s in the sense that it's kind of dry, not much to it. I'm also messaging my boy Race right now. Oh, this is great. Um, let's see. Yeah, no, that I did not know you watched Evangelion, Race. That's really good to know. We're going to talk about that big time. Maybe we'll watch it. Maybe we'll watch. Yes, let's do a whole rewatch. I'm so down. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. That being said, I like that one. Duke is fun. So I was singing the melody. Do so that's kind of what inspired it. That's why I named it after. So like listen to it. So it just worked. It worked good. Next one, we're gonna move on to the next one. Duke does go hard. I like it. I agree, Jerry. We should do some Evangelion on Bombad, guys. Maybe we'll do a whole rewatch. We're just gonna be doing what they do there with Mitch. So the next one's fun. The next one is called Endosymbiosis. This was inspired directly by my friend Racing Turtles right here. Race Piku and I. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Dominu. I can't say it, Race. Shout out to Race, one of my favorite people in the world. Race and I, our friendship kind of got rekindled in the last couple of weeks, and we're gonna hang out soon at some point again. But we had a really, really deep conversation over some catfish dinner at George's on Jones Creek. And Baton Rouge before we went and saw Sinners together. We had a really, really good conversation, and he was telling me all about endosymbiosis. And let me see if I can get a brief definition. He might even write one in here too. What is endosymbiosis? Just so I don't mess it up. Endosymbiosis is a process where one organism lives inside another, with both organisms benefiting from the relationship. This type of symbiosis is particularly important in the evolution of eukaryotic cells, which the mitochondria, the chloroplast, believed to have originated from bacteria and were engulfed by other cells. So I really like this idea. I wonder if I can pull up an image of this exactly, just so you get a better image of it. So it was once believed that at one point, you can see right here, they were independent bacteria, and through endosymbiosis, one engulfed the other, and now they cannot live without each other. And then when they, of course, split, they passed down the mitochondria or the chloroplast or whatever through every subsequent generation leading to us. So that is ultimately the idea that if without endosymbiosis, none of us would be there. Literally, endo like inside. And then this is exactly why we have mitochondria. So this was directly inspired by a conversation that I had. Race was one of the first people I showed. I think I showed Race. What was the first one I showed him? I'm pretty sure the first one I showed him was My Garage or Dance Alone. And he was like, this slaps. He was building me up. So the second I was done with that hangout, we had a great time hanging out and seeing the movie. We sat in the car and talked for like an hour about the movie and a project that he's been wanting to make in our lives and our friendship and how much we meant to each other. So endosymbiosis came directly from that conversation. I went home, and I think it was the next day I'd pumped this one out, and this one's pretty cool. This one's it's got such a nice sound to it. This may be one of my other favorite ones on this. So let's enjoy. This one starts with a bass line first. Pretty different. That one's easy. I like that one. That one's a fun one. Very much driven by the bass line, so the drums. Some tracks are usually driven strictly by the drums, whereas that one was strictly by the bass line. So the to me, like the living part of the song is the bass line, whereas the drum beat keeps it alive. The living thing is the actual bass line, the groove, the thing that you fall into. Next one, cool one. This one was very simple. This one is simply called Giddy Up. The drum beat I found sounded like a horse. Sounded like a horse trotting. So it's really, there's not much to this one. And maybe musically there is. Endosymbiosis is my shortest one, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Giddy Up is like, Giddy Up has a very funny, I don't know, it sounds not Westerny. I almost named this one Gene Autry after my grandfather, but I don't think my grandfather would have liked this music. He would have liked it conceptually, but I don't think the music itself would have been his thing. My papa, Nick. But I almost named it Gene Autry. But there's something coming in the future where I do have more country flavored music that I can name after my wonderful papa, Nick. But anyway, here's Giddy Up. There we go. That one I like a lot. That one's a fun one. The part that I do like the most, if I could bring it in, there's a part where the music kind of drops and it's building, 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 and then it just, and like I just took my finger across the touchpad and I found a nice spot. I think I went from all the way to the right, to the left, and all the way down, and it kind of just like fell back into the groove really nicely. Sometimes it's hard to manipulate these things properly to have it have a drop like that. So, and I was raising up the intensity. It's right here. So yeah, that's I love that. That one's a good groove too. And good producer Steve. I'm glad you're filled. This next one, getting fueled. Next one is a good one. This next one's about what it's like to get a notification you don't want to get, or you're anticipating a notification. Let's say you're texting someone that you don't normally text, or someone that maybe you're having a spat with, or maybe you didn't expect a text from them and they send you something kind of crazy and you're like, oh Jesus. Okay, like how do I maneuver this? This next one is about that feeling. It's just called notification. By the way, this one's the noisiest of them all. I love this one. This one's got a really cool crunch to it. This one, imagine if like the sound were to like come out the wall. Like you're looking at maybe like a TV, you're looking at a static on the TV, and then like the sound starting to crawl out of the TV. That's kind of the visual I had for this one. So yeah, we'll jam to notification. There you go. I like notification. Notification's kind of up. Thank you, Nathan. A banger. Yes, and that's the part. Another thing too is like I specifically made it to where tonally it sounded weird, and if you could tell towards the end of notification, there's you can hear the distortion coming in and out. So it's actually, I'm sorry. No, not there. That da-dome. What I'm doing is manually distorting the signal, so it has a knob on the TD-3 that you can just like you can turn it on, leave it on, obviously what you hear, but I'm just so I'm just quickly adjusting as fast as I can. This next one's called Almost 30. This is pretty much the moment I'm experiencing right now. I will be 30 in a few hours. Another long one, and I got two more after. And then a special one for producer Steve. Yes. Yes. I love that one. I love how it gets so in your ear. It feels like you're in the top of your head and then it just falls right back down. I love that. Next one, completely inspired by the hit anime series Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'll tell you a story. Jared the Dark Jedi got me onto this show, which then got Noah, Keldor Jedi, onto this show, which then got Jerry onto this show. And since now Noah and Jerry have both finished the series, we now have Trey watching the show. And it all comes from Mitch. And our wonderful Mitch. I was actually on that channel with Mitch and with Jared talking about Evangelion. God, why can't I remember? Is it the comic book cast? Maybe is that it? I'm getting, maybe someone tap me and I forget the name of the channel that Mitch runs that they talk about it. It's all about it. The series is great. Pro and noob is the idea that like a professional that's watched this show is going to talk to you about it, and a noob's going to kind of come in with their thoughts on it. So that's the whole idea that Jared has with Mitch on his channel. All that being said, this one's called Berserk Ava. The reason why I titled that is because in Evangelion, there are these creatures called Avas. I'm not going to give you more details on that. They're mechs. And they make this kind of crazy growl noise in the Japanese version that is then used in the Rebuild series. So the noise they made in the actual like dub version, it's pretty cool noise. It's like, it's a little bit lower, but in the actual Japanese version, it's more of a more of like a kind of noise. It's a great noise. That being said, Laserbolt could be my dad. That being said, when it comes to this one, there's a particular noise that I kept distorting. And you'll hear it. I love it. And then I speed it up really, really high. And then I use the sampler on the Korg Kaoss Pad, which I had sampled the noise before I started recording it. And I used it. So it's just that quick. So let's hear, picture two big mechs fighting each other. And one goes absolutely berserk, which means they are no longer in control. So here is Berserk Ava. This one's groovy. Right here. Yes, man. Bringing you back in, Jerry. If you're available, you ready? You want to come back on air? Yeah, he gave me a finger up. I just to talk to it before I bring him in. I just love it's there the whole time. And the idea of like something's within you the whole time is there, but like it's super low at first, and I don't know how the frequency worked out the way it did, but you can hear that the entire time. So when the bass line comes in right over here, you just hear it super low, and it's still going to keep coming up. This is one of the few ones I had a hard time producing because I didn't know exactly how I should set it. So you can hear it. It's there. Super low. It's always in there. And then by the end of it, we'll just go to the end of it. It's. I just love that. And Laser Bolt said it's tasing you, man. Yeah, you can't be tased. You're made of laser bolts. Jerry, let's bring him in. Jerry, how we doing, baby?
Like an angel with cruel and something intent. Go, young boy, and you'll become a legend. Cruel and merciless intent. That's what it is. Sorry.
That's it.
We could. Scotty can't. He didn't write Cruel Angels Thesis.
I did not.
So he had to write this one.
I had to write this. But can you see it? You know, like the
man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's going berserk.
Eating something.
Oh man, it's Jesus natural state.
No, I love this one. I don't know what you think of this one, but that's the one that was like, that's the one when I hear it and it's in my loudspeaker in there, it's like, oh, you can just feel it in your chest. Sometimes music is so much more about the sensation it gives you than what it actually is. I don't know. That's how I've always thought music. It has nothing to do with the music sometimes. It has to do with capturing that moment and that essence.
Yeah, the essence, the vibe. We've talked vibes already and stuff like that. That one gets thrown around a lot these days. But yeah, 100%. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
This is. I don't know, man. The way it speeds up at the end too is crazy. That's the Ava running towards the angel at the end. Of course.
Yes. What's
going on?
I love that. Mm-hmm. We do have one more, Jerry, and then we're going to play an exclusive track for producer Steve and Ken Knapsack. Ken has heard it. I think I sent it to him a few days ago, but producer Steve has not heard it, and he is featured in it. So it's kind of a silly little track. But this next one is called Zushi Car Wreck, which is inspired from the car accident I had. If you watched our Japan recap, this is inspired by the car accident that I caused when I rented a car and I backed into a motorcyclist. So this is about that energy.
Into a motorcyclist, just the motorcycle, right?
just the motorcycle, but she was around and it was embarrassing and it was terrifying. And her dad showed up and like this song
That's the
goes
worst. When the dad shows up and
he
stuff,
was
it's just like,
pissed.
oh
He was pissed.
man.
This one is about like it goes really fast and it goes super slow. So it's kind of like having an intense moment and then kind of coming down from it. And it's honestly a really good way to end an album. It just builds all it goes. Whereas My Garage is kind of a cool start. That is certainly a pretty awesome end. So let's listen together to Zushi Karek. Here we go.
Let's do it.
I like that one. That one's just to tickle your ears the whole time. That one cool.
Man. Oh man, that was it. There's so much just vibration in it.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, yeah. Jerry.
Yeah, it vibrates all over the place, and I love that. I love
I
love how slow it starts.
Yes,
and you can see that ramp up. It's like someone slowly backing up and then running into a motorcycle, and then like the entire situation escalating.
And then it goes
before
back.
Finally, okay, we're
we're
calming back down. Okay, all right. The Japanese father is not going to throw me in jail. Okay,
the police officers are very nice. They're not going to put their hand on their guns when they walk up to. I don't think they have guns in Japan.
I don't think no. Yeah, I don't think you need a gun as a cop in Japan.
Look at this. I love this. Well, this is relaxing for a car crash. Yeah, it does. It's supposed to build up, Laser Bolt. I appreciate that. This is a fun one. This is the last one I'll play tonight. We're going to end the live stream. I got to celebrate my 30th birthday somehow. Might go play some Fortnite with some friends. We'll see. So this one is obviously from my This is essentially from my, make sure I go to the right page. This is from my Google Drive, so this is not anything
You can say this is
official.
bonus.
This is bonus for those that stuck
Oh,
around.
wow.
Hopefully,
Okay.
Producer Steve, if you're in the chat, give me a thumbs up. Producer Steve, where you at? This one features you.
Producer Steve, come on. Let's see you, man. Come on. Sound
Producer
off.
Steve, sound off, Producer Steve.
Producer Steve.
Maybe he'll show up. Maybe he'll show up. But this is for Producer Steve. I was listening to the blathering while them making this album. And
hey,
Producer
there
Steve
he
is.
is.
There's Producer Steve.
There he is.
Look, racist. What you be playing Fortnite on if that wasn't a joke? I cannot believe he asked this. Race, I play it on my Amazon Fire Stick using the Luna app.
The Luna app, you say?
So it's an app that I'm not going to do it, but
we can do that bit tonight.
So yes, I do play them on there, and I love it. I love Fortnite; it's a lot of fun. So here we go. You ready? This is it. This is the bonus, the bonus one for Producer Steve. And make sure I don't know. Let me know if sound comes through for you and the audience. Here we go. Hopefully, it'll load up.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, let's see. I don't know.
Come on, baby. Let's groove it. Let's go.
It might not. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not playing it through my normal, using Tidal to play my other stuff. Let me refresh it. One thing I will say too about this is I forget it was about your favorite hobbies. That was the episode of the blathering. So maybe that'll give you some more context. And I remember chatting in right before I started recording this. Oh my God, why is it not playing?
Oh no.
Hold on. Maybe I can open it up. There we go. There's an app for that. Here we go.
App for it.
Here, this should be the. Did it click? Plus pause play. Oh, I need to add the file. Okay, hold on. Select files from Google Drive.
We got this.
Where is it?
Oh my.
Recent? It would be the Rip Lorton questions. Oh, this is using. Why is it on Bombad Cast? This should be. Hold on. Okay, now I have it. Now I think we've got it now. Y'all ready? Here we go. This should work. Let me know if this does not work.
Would not have the clip-on ones, or the clip-together ones. He'd have the actual ones where you glue and you take. I, as a kid, had the little snap-together ones, and I just never developed anything after that. I think I don't have the patience for that, but I think, Tully, you're onto something there, where it allows you to slow down. Jared says getting stoned is a hobby. All right, maybe so. Scotty's here getting ready for the Bombad cast. I don't know what the hell they're doing on the Bombad cast tonight. Probably something wild. Maybe Jerry's shaving the rest of his face. I don't know. Scotty Jerry says, I got too many hobbies. DJ, guitar, synthesizer, archiving documents, Fortnite, gardening, collecting. This is fantastic. Oh, Scotty, I just brought out my record player. I need to text you. Also, I went to buy 2 records today. I was like, I'm going to get Chaperone in LP vinyl form. I'm going to get Gaga's Mayhem. I didn't realize they're that expensive now. Thanks, tariffs. I don't know. Anyway, Scotty, I have vinyl thoughts because again, maybe that should be a hobby. Because CD collecting music used to be a hobby till I turned it into, I don't know, fascinating stuff. Forrest Gump, Cold War Doc is spectacular. History is linear. We are still dealing with mid-level management Vladimir Putin at the KGB office in Dresden going, why is Moscow silent on the fall of the wall? We're still dealing with that and could be dealing with it still in a major way. Shout out to Ukraine for pulling off that stunning attack on the at least 40 planes or so. But that's gonna bring back some more. So we're still in that. History is linear. All right. Let's find used. I got 2 used records around here, but I used to buy used CDs. Which, by the way, remember, I think Garth Brooks said don't do that because then that doesn't go back to the artist. I get it in my head. I don't like used things when it comes to like something like an LP. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm gonna get a Gaga LP, and I already have a couple on LP, but if I can get one, like I want the cellophane to come off. I want to smell. But I've used other things, so I'll probably head to one of the used record stores and see what I can pick up. Right? 8 out of 8 for him says, my hobbies are collecting retro games, transit exploring, coffee. Okay, yeah, coffee culture. Okay, there you go. They were about $40 each. $40 each. And I was like, let me go online and go shop direct from the artist. Still, with shipping, would have been close to 50. All right, let's do this here. Let's get producer Steve on the show. Producer Steve, what are we doing? Good evening, Ken. Hello. Let's start there. My face, yes, my face is also burning. You know why my face is burning?
I don't.
I did a mask this afternoon. I had a little extra time. I'm hearing a little echo on your set. Are you hearing an echo on my set? Okay. I put on a face mask, and I love it. Oh, I love it. I love peeling it off. But there's a light burning, Steve.
So when you say like a face mask, it's like you did like the whole like cucumbers on the eyes kind of thing, like, or you didn't put, like, a helmet on?
I need the cucumbers. No, yeah, you take a little package and and then you put it on your face and it dries. And after about 30 minutes, you do the little peel. And look at this skin. You know,
I'm a caveman, Ken. I don't know about these things.
So I thank you for educating.
What if I have to set you?
I will do it. I will do it. I'll make it. Good. We need some backstage. If you send me a face, I will do a whole. I'll make a whole.
They're so relaxing. You peel it off and your skin's so smooth. Oh, it's so good.
I've done the nose strip before, so it's like a giant nose strip, right? Is that essentially what it is? Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, just find one that doesn't make your face burn.
Well,
yeah. What's your
maybe
biggest
we start
hobby?
small.
What's your biggest?
I told you I was going to have a better answer for this, but my favorite hobby since the world has really turned to shit has been doing this. That's down it's been a fun ride, and I've enjoyed the. No, that's the end of it. Well, no, we're just finally people playing on
The Titanic as it sinks, and so I'm glad that we played together. It's been an honor.
You know, we're just slowly sinking. You know what I mean? Like we haven't really gone too far yet. You know, that the ship's definitely in the water. We definitely hit the iceberg, but you know,
yeah,
the song's probably gonna be pretty long. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear for that. Force Ghost conversation. Anthony says I can stare at maps all day. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
Steve, you're in that age group where you probably were around just enough for like Thomas Guides and MapQuest, right? Oh yeah, MapQuest, or like having to print out the map, like staple them together, going through the pages, moving places. I remember having to pull out the actual map, and you get it across the whole dashboard, and you're trying to like get someone to spill something on the map. Yeah, it was a whole. I remember. I still got Thomas Guide in the car. Sometimes I just read the map. It was a simple time, Ken. It was okay. It was okay to get lost. You can get used to get lost in this country. How can we go wrong if you can get turned around the wrong corner in this country? We got some calls lined up. We got some calls. We got some science today. Real quick science update. We got some sports.
Big sports day. We got a couple finals going on, right? We had a couple championship series have begun.
We've got a lot of sports going on. Between that, there's baseball news, there's football news. Today,
That's it.
Beautiful.
That was kind of fun, wasn't it?
That's very fun. And I don't like we need like a live Steve, like producer Steve reaction. Honestly, I feel like for that.
Oh
that was
man!
Crazy. But
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you absolutely need to.
Maybe I'll release a
no,
demos
well,
album, and that'll be number one on it.
You really distorted the voices at the end, and it was very like rhythmic.
Yes, yes.
Like that. If anything, that proves that producer Steve and Ken are consummate professionals, and you're just like that is just how like good radio that they do.
Yes,
a good YouTube radio, whatever the hell this is, and so no, that was I loved that.
That was a good one, wasn't it?
And it was good. That was interesting. That was I didn't expect. I expected you to have like a tag at the beginning with Ken, and then go. I didn't expect it to go through the whole song.
Thing.
and stuff and everything. It's like, why did we bring poor Steve into this? That was fantastic. There we go.
It works.
Okay. All right.
It works.
That was
I love
beautiful.
producer
That was
Steve.
beautiful.
No, that's a fun one. I'm thank you for everyone. We've had a consistent viewing of like 15 people the whole night. So anyone that stuck through and enjoyed this, thank you all so much. Obviously we'll be doing Bombad on Thursday, celebrating a little bit of my birthday, but most importantly, we're gonna be looking at what Star Wars is like in 95, and we have evidence right here. We have a living primary source right here looking at him. What Star Wars was like in 95. You would have been like what,
I lived
8 years old?
it, baby.
I was 8.
I was 1987 I was born, so yeah. I was around 8 and stuff like that. Yeah, they were the same age as my kid is right now, which is in
whoa.
Yeah,
that's kind of incredible. And I was coming into the world.
Right?
Wow. Oh, this is exciting.
It's nuts. It's bonkers, man. And I'm excited to talk that with you because, again, I am an expert on the subject, as we've already said.
Yes,
but I'm excited to share in this time with you in the turning to the next decade, the turning of the page, as it were.
Yes,
it's always huge whenever a page is turned to the next decade of existence. And man, here's to many more.
Here's many more years of Bombad.
One more hour, less than an hour on the East Coast here in the Eastern time zone till I can say happy birthday, Scotty J.
Happy 30th birthday, loser. But no, I will say I love doing this with you. I love that you joined tonight. That was a good surprise. Looking forward to Thursday. That's beautiful. We hung out. We got to talk on this live stream. I want to actually pull this up real quick. If you haven't yet, check out our 6th anniversary stream last week. We had a blast. We were actually visited by someone by the name of Rip Glorton. I
hated that I couldn't make it, but
I know,
bitch, what can you do?
Yeah,
you gotta make those checks, man. You gotta get that bag, as they say.
You gotta get the bag.
Jody,
Miss Jody's here. My mother-in-law. Hello, Miss
Cheers.
Jody.
I was gonna say I've just finished my drink, but I'm probably gonna get another. It's fine,
That's right. But no, we had a blast here hanging out with y'all this evening. Scotty's debut album, Touchlight listening party. Thank you for joining. Here's a cool picture that Trey also took in Japan. I'm looking fly as hell, and I'm standing next to Roach. And
I was gonna say
there's a Roach.
Maybe should be less rare, but a rare Roach appearance.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
But no, thank you everyone for joining this evening. Had an absolute blast. There is more to come. Hearing that Ken and producer Steve discussion kind of makes me want to release some of the other demos that I had crafted leading up to this. So
EP,
yeah, maybe it's a secret little EP if this one does well. But thank you everyone for joining this evening. I'm Scotty Jero. I hope you one day can touch light. And as always, stay freaking Bombad.